So you might remember the exclusive tidbits I got from Michael and his source regarding the announcement of the new iPad Pros happening on the 14th. And well, thankfully today we have a lot of credible sources corroborating that yes, we could see some sort of announcement happen as soon as this week. And so let's delve into all of it, along with information about a gold iPad Pro and some other tidbits on production issues regarding mini LED. But first, make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumors. And with that being said, let's just tuck in. So let's begin with the most accurate source first, Mr. Mark Gurman, who says that Apple is still going ahead with the release this month, and we should expect both the 11-inch and 12.9-inch to launch in April. Though sadly, much like Michael and the source had suggested, Mark Gurman does believe we could see a staggered release purely because of the mini LED production issues Apple's been facing. So Mark tells us that mini LED production has actually briefly halted because of the low yield, which of course would corroborate with a report we got a few days ago from Nikkei Asia Review that there were display component issues with the iPads, and so it's nice that Gurman does corroborate on this, but of course that is terrible news for us because number one, the bigger iPad Pro with mini LED will be delayed, but number two, when it eventually launches, there will be supply constraints, and so basically if you plan to buy one, order it as soon as possible because there will be a long waiting time, and I'm assuming shipping times will slip immediately, much like we saw with AirPods Max. Now, interestingly, Mark Gurman does say the 12.9-inch iPad Pro is going to be announced in the second half of April, which means it should release between the 16th and 30th of April. Now, yes, I know that does not align with Michael's source who said that we can expect the launch on the 14th, but do remember that Michael did say the 11-inch would launch first, and there is a possibility that maybe this week we just see the 11-inch iPad Pro, and then Apple announces the bigger iPad Pro the following week. Also, there is another possibility that maybe Mark Gurman is talking about the shipping dates, because of course we do expect the iPad Pros to be announced on the 14th, but of course ship a week later on the 21st. By the way, Gurman does confirm a suspicion we've had for a long time, and that is, yes, the mini LED panel will be exclusive to the bigger size only, and so if you want the big improvements, you have to go for the bigger size, and this does corroborate with Michael's source who said that Apple's main focus is on the 12.9-inch model this year, and so it is very likely we see other exclusive features to the bigger iPad Pro, for example more RAM to run Pro apps more efficiently. Anyways, let's move on to our next leak, and that is from Love to Dream. And by the way, this guy loves his cryptic tweets, and so basically he gave us an anagram to work out. It's EIPWNCG, and what I think it means is expect iPad Wednesday, new color gold. So the first part, Wednesday, makes a lot of sense because of course, this was tweeted on Monday the 12th of April, and of course, we should see the iPad Pros on the 14th, according to Michael's source, and so this would align perfectly with that tidbit. As for the gold parts, I'm not so sure, purely because we haven't heard anything about new colors coming to the iPad Pro. Of course, we had one small leak from Pig2 regarding a Pacific Blue iPad Pro, but Pacific Blue does not start with a G, and so that seems pretty unlikely to me. Whereas of course, gold iPads have existed before, and we have seen gold iPad Pros in the past, and so Apple resurrecting the color again for the new iPad Pro does seem pretty plausible. Now, yes, I know what you're thinking. Maybe the G could be graphite because, of course, with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, we saw graphite replacing space gray, and so we could see something very similar with the new iPad Pros. But do note, that actually won't work because, of course, graphite only applies to stainless steel devices. For example, the aluminium Apple Watch is still space gray, whereas, of course, the stainless steel versions are graphite. And, of course, I do doubt Apple's going to give us stainless steel rails on the new iPad Pro, purely because it is going to be too heavy to use, and so personally I am leaning towards it being gold, especially considering this won't be a redesign, and we usually do see a new exclusive color when there isn't a redesign with the iPhones. It is possible that Apple brings over that ideology to the iPads too. And finally, we have a few tidbits from John Prosser, who says that he believes that Apple stores are preparing for a launch that could take place as soon as next week. And so, of course, he did say that today on Genius Bar, and so that leads me to believe that we could see an announcement this week, and then of course, we see the products being available to buy the following week as per usual, and that's probably why the Apple stores are preparing for a launch. He also goes on to say the Magic Keyboard that we can expect with the new iPad Pro will be pretty minor, and so that does lead me to believe that the new Magic Keyboard is purely in the works because, of course, the bigger iPad Pro is getting thicker because of mini LED, and so to accommodate the thicker body, they give us a new Magic Keyboard that has been slightly adapted for the new dimensions. But yeah, that's pretty much all the latest information on the iPad Pro. Let me know in the comments below, do you think the launch is on the 14th? Or are you still pretty skeptical about it launching this month? Do you think it could be delayed because of those component shortages? Anyways, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. For the latest Apple news and rumors, check out the video in the icon above about some juicy iPhone 13 leaks. And on that note, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya, peeps.